Alright lads and lasses, welcome back to 100% Mags. Let's talk about what has just happened out in South Korea. Of course, Newcastle wrapping up our Asian tour and on our way back, of course, to the UK ahead of our game against Espanyol. But it ended, of course, tonight in Seattle's World Cup Stadium, of course, 1-1 against Tottenham Hotspur. And it wasn't the prettiest of performances at times, but there were plenty of positives to talk about. Harvey Barnes was back on the score sheet forward. Anthony Gordon looked really sharp in the game today as well. And Nicky Pope had a standout night in goal for us as well. Let's break it all down. So early setback in the game. Spurs struck first in the game, but we started a little flat and were paid the price, unfortunately. 4 minutes into the game, Jacob Murphy was disposed in our own half. And, of course, Spurs pounced at that moment. It was Brennan Johnson's shot that took a nasty deflection off of Dan Burns, wrong-footing Pope and rolling the ball into the bottom corner of course, Nicky's net, putting Spurs 1-up in the game. Not the start that we wanted, but, of course, we didn't fall flat. We responded back early. In fact, we had some energy and purpose to attacks. Anthony Gordon was electric down the left once again. His sharp cutbacks and pace kept Spurs under pressure. Gordon led one, of course, off to Joe Linton, but then the Brazilian just couldn't connect with it cleanly enough on about the 14th minute of the game. And then Shaw tried from distance and it just swerved to the right a little bit and away from the goal. And then Gordon hit the side netting after, a neat little move with Murphy. About the 22nd minute, I think it was, maybe the 16th minute of the game. And Gordon did that. So it was within about 2 minutes of Joe Linton doing his miss of the ball. And then Gordon had another chance forward in the game, and Shaw had a chance in amongst that as well. Pope standing tall in the goal tonight, of course, in Seattle. And Spurs nearly doubled their lead through Miles Tal, who was questionably allowed to run clean through after what looked like a foul on Matty Target. I've got to say it was a foul in my opinion. The arms pulling him back, clear foul in my opinion, but the ref allowed it to play on. And then Tell tried to beat Pope one-on-one. He couldn't. Pope stayed his ground, made himself big like goalkeepers do, and stuck out a leg, and it was a superb stop by Nicky Pope. Another big save followed minutes later, of course, with Pope tipping Pedro Porro's free kick over the bar, even though it didn't really look like he got his fingers to it. To be honest, but that went over, and there was, of course, a corner kick given. Now, on 38th minute, we see big Bucky Barnes doing what he does best, and it was coming, of course, as well, because Barnes delivered. Gordon led a break through the middle, slipped the ball left to Barnes. Classic Barnes, as always, cut inside onto his right foot, powered a shot off the inside of the post, and in clinical style made it 1-1 in the game heading into half time. Second half will come out and the chances are there, but no breakthrough, of course. Newcastle started well after the break. Gordon again at the heart of it. He side-footed Target cross wide, then later volleyed home Murphy's cross with a great finish, but it wasn't of course allowed because it was ruled off. Close but clear, unfortunately. And then Gordon came off around the hour mark for Will Sula. Later we saw, of course, Tino Livramento come on for Target, and of course Louis Hall coming on as well after that injury picked up at Anfield in last season. Great to see him back, of course, and great to see him get the minutes. And of course, we're seeing once again Seong Soo Park Seong Soo, our young South Korean wonder kid, come on, and he had some great moments once again. So looking very promising, that young lad, and I can't wait to see more of him. Pope again, the difference maker. He made two massive saves early on, and one from Lucas, of course, Bagvel. Simple enough, but the real highlight was a one-on-one stop from Richarlison after some tricky build-up play from Spurs. Of course, Pope stuck out his foot again to deny the Brazilian. Now, some talking points that we can touch on in this game, of course, was Barnes back among the goals. Great to see, and hopefully that goes into the Premier League season. Gordon was excellent again. Nice to see Gordon back at his best, looking very quick, looking very agile out there in South Korea as well. So it's going to be nice to see, that kind of Gordon back. He was having some troubles last season, and it'd be nice to see, that agile, quick Anthony Gordon back in the side, getting involved in everything, confident and creative like he always is. And it's nice to see, Anthony Gordon back doing that. Nicky Pope, I would say, was probably the man of the match. He pulled off some really good saves in the game. Some that if he hadn't pulled off, the result would have, of course, went in Tottenham's favour. But very, very good performance by Nicky Pope. Lewis Hall, of course, returning from injury, promising step forward for the young lad. And, hopefully we'll see more of course, Halsey getting back into the way he was playing last season as well. A sloppy start, unfortunately. But these things happen, it's pre-season. But it's nice to see that the lads are now starting to get that fitness. You can see it, we played really well in this game. You could see the fitness levels were getting there now as we start to end towards the back end of the pre-season. Now, as we're closing on that, and still, unfortunately, lacking a little bit of sharpness in the striking department. But, at the end of the day, it's not the main striker up there. Alexander Isak wasn't in this game, obviously. It is Will Asula. Like I've said many times, he's a young, promising lad, but he's still very raw. His potential's there. He's just not, found a way to use it yet, or knows how to use it yet. But final thoughts on the game, I've got to say, really good game. Nice to see that we got, a good result out of it, at least a draw. And on closing, I want to send, my well wishes to James Maddison, who looked like he went off with a very season-ending injury. It looks like he might have pulled his ACL or something like that. But my thoughts go out to James Maddison. Here to see that for any player. It's not great at the end of the day. So hopefully that lad gets well pretty soon. And also want to put my thoughts out there as well to Heung-min Son as well, who has been a fantastic player in the Premier League. I know he doesn't play for Newcastle, but can at least show a bit of respect, to a lad that has done some really good stuff in the Premier League. And, I wish him all the best to wherever he's going. And Tottenham fans, I'm sure, will agree with us on that. He's a fantastic player and he's done some really good stuff. So best of luck to Heung-min Son for wherever he's going next, which I think was MLS that was being mentioned. But let us know your thoughts, down in the comments below on this game against Spurs out in South Korea at the Seoul World Cup Stadium. It's ended, of course, 1-1 in the game. There was a few moments throughout the game where Tottenham could have won the game. There was a few moments where we could have won the game. But that's it, at the end of the day, it's pre-season. The main focus is to get the minutes into the legs, and that's exactly what we've seen today, or tonight, if you are in South Korea watching this, of course, then, we're getting the minutes in the legs, and that is the main focus behind it. But till next time, remember, hit like, share, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you all for the next one. Bye, the lads.